Don't go away. You won't want to miss today's episode of Doggy Dilemmas. You're going to meet Leia, a 1-year-old Akita Lab mix who has some play skill deficits.
Denise Mazzola is a certified professional dog trainer with over 20 years experience training dogs and people. If you've got a doggy dilemma, Denise can help.
Welcome to another episode of Doggy Dilemmas. I'm Denise Mazzola. Today we're going to meet Leia, a 1-year-old Akita Lab mix. She's very reactive when she sees other dogs, so we're going to start off with some assessments first and then make up a behavior plan and get started with that. So let's get started. Duke's going to come in with Leia. She's going to meet our stuffed dog first, and then we'll get to some real dogs. Okay. So let's just, so some play. She sort of started like a freight train first. No, okay. So the bigger issue is going to be when she's on leash and restrained from the real dog. Okay. She has a problem with that. So, okay. So what we just saw with Leia was not completely horrible. She charged in, she slowed down, she quickly assessed the dog was not real, which is nice to see. She did a little play behavior back and forth. So now we're going to introduce her to Thor, my 10-year-old yellow lab, and we're going to do it on leash first, and then we'll let her off leash. She doesn't have a fight history, she doesn't have a bite history. I'm not worried about any of those things. Leia. But I am concerned that she acts like a fish at the end of the leash when she sees another dog. So. Let's have Thor can just come in that door and I'll back up.
You want him on leash?
Yes. So I'm going to click and treat her for watching and not reacting.
Good boy.
I have to be faster than her. Good girl. Looking back at me is nice. Good girl. She has met Thor once, so he's not completely new, but it's been a while. So you can walk up closer, Duke. Good girl. Good girl. Yeah. So go ahead, let's take, Leia, sit, sit. Go ahead and take him off, and I'm going to take her off while she's sitting.
Okay.
So Thor stands for what's called investigation. It's an appeasement signal. It turns her off for the moment. She's teeing him, putting her head right over his shoulders. That's not a good thing. He won't respond back. Thor. So she's still young and kind of figuring things out, but this is a stress shake off from Thor. He's walking very slow, good boy. Leia also resource guards from dogs, so we just need to be careful. Here it is in slow motion. Remember, dogs have ritualized greeting behavior, which is designed to prevent fighting. Normally, dogs would arch and walk in a circle up to each other, but here we see Leia racing up to Thor like a freight train. This is not a part of proper greeting behavior. Thor stands very still, which is an appeasement signal. It is designed to cut off the potentially aggressive behavior of the other dog. As we continue to watch, we can see she clearly tees him. This means she's placed her head over his shoulders and her body is perpendicular to his. She almost jumps a little bit as she does this. This is not friendly, and most dogs will not tolerate such rude behavior. And she does a little bit of bouncing around. And as Thor turns to walk back towards us, she then body blocks his forward motion, and he again stops and stands still. As he begins to walk again, he does a stress shake-off. So he's exhibiting a lot of stress from Leia's inappropriate behavior. I know. So interesting, she teases him, he stands still, and then she goes on and does something else. She didn't freeze up or go after him after that. But that's a bit of a concern because she is only one. So if she keeps doing that as she gets older, that's going to get her into trouble. I mean, some dogs aren't going to tolerate that. Good, so I'm going to put her back on. Let's leave Thor in here loose.
Okay.
Oh, you going to do anything else? So there's another one. Her hackles are up on the back of her neck and kind of down to her tail. So the other thing she does is she seems to get stuck with neck stuff, which is called a broken record if that's the only way she plays is grab the neck, grab the neck, grab the neck. So he may be running to avoid. He's also going to shop. So I want to see if he's body blocking him a little bit. See how he comes in between?
Yep.
And doing the same thing with you. He doesn't know you. She doesn't. In this slow motion, see if you can identify Leia's body blocking Thor 3 times. Once on his approach to us. Once as he approaches Duke. And once as he approaches me. These are not accidents. So she's doing a lot of controlling of his space. So she play bows while she's making a lot of noise and grabbing at his ears and his collar. So that's nice. She's sort of listening to him when he barks at her. Hi, baby. I haven't seen another T come up, when she goes over him. So, but she still does this, hurting, blocking him.
Right. Okay, well, let's go.
So now we're going to bring in Kino, a 1-year-old male
Good boy.
boxer that's Duke's dog. He throws out a lot more play
Good boy.
behaviors. Thor threw out some.
That's a good boy.
But it's always good to see how a dog's going to react with more than one dog. Good girl. And again, I want to help her be successful. I don't want her dragging me there. So keep him on leash for a minute. Good girl.
A little bit more excitement with Tino.
Yeah, and I'm
Must be all those
Thor, go
signals
on.
he's throwing right now. Sit.
good girl.
Okay.
So she is a dog that I would call hyper motivated
Good.
to
Stand.
want to get to the other dog.
Stay. Sit.
It's easier to keep her walking. Good girl. Yes, good job.
Sit.
All right. Yes. Very nice. Yes, good girl. Yes, so she's turning back to me. I'm really glad, really pleased with that. Good girl. She's getting the name of the game. It's the first time I've worked with her with dogs. Good girl.
Step.
Good girl. Sit. Sit. Yes, good girl. Okay, so I'm going to start to get her leash off. Remember about the resource guardings. Wait. Okay, let him off.
It's both a little Tarzanish.
Yep. But lots of, so Kino's standing still. She also stood still. She's going to just let. So Kino checks in, stops the play.
Very bouncy.
Very bouncy, inefficient. She's a little bouncy. Kino, got to change direction. So let's see if we get any reciprocal play. Running, you know, Kino's running could be a avoidance, so let's make sure it's not. But he's changing direction. He butt checked her. That's just the way boxers play.
So he shut her off there, but she didn't.
Oop, he butt checked her again.
Yep, there you go again.
So you say like right there, but then Kino
the
kept.
first one, that was a better one, but the last one, she just kind of pawed him. Hugged him. There you go.
Good, so that's a check-in.
Good dogs.
It self-regulates play when dogs do that. Kino's a great example of bouncy, inefficient movement. She's not offering any check-ins. She's still pretty focused on him, but he's offering check-ins. Oh, now we got, good. Thor came back to join us. Oh, that's nice. Get off.
Not on camera.
Off. Off. Ah. Too bad. Crate him if you grab him. Too bad. The wire one. So Thor's going to get a timeout for mounting. So let's let him back out. If he mounts again, we'll time him out. So that's about as bouncy as Thor gets at his age. Kino stood for investigation.
There you go. That's some reciprocal play. Kino going after her.
Ooh, ooh. Kino's little tail's wagging. He really goes up on his toes and raises his hind end in the air. I don't think I've ever seen him do that. So there's the boxer body slam. That's nice. The spinning. So nice little kind of play-by-play, work it in. So she's not really showing, I mean, she's chasing. She does a check-in when Kino does a check-in. I don't know that she's checked in on her own. She's not over-focused on necks
No.
with Kino.
Just right off the bat with Thor.
Yep. So I was thinking.
Introduction, the new introduction, the focus on the neck, a little bit more aroused than now.
Thor, too bad.
Hey.
Now he's going to run and avoid you.
game
I'll have to put a
chase.
leash on my own dog so that I can correct him. See, he does that again. Kino puts his butt up. That's cute. Standing for investigation, cuts off the play.
Thor opened his mouth and Kino ran into it.
So I was thinking that Leia was going to present as what we call play skills deficit, where she gets the broken record, the neck, and she's not doing either of those things right now. So we're gonna let him play a little bit more.
Supposed guarding the water bowl if it was important.
Did she guard it?
She didn't. She actually was very appropriate and waited a turn. If it's any value. Good boy.
Come on,
Come on,
come on,
Thor.
come on.
Come on, Thor.
Thor. He's all about the food. Can we close up that other gap right there?
He can't. He can't get any. Doesn't stop him from trying.
Come on, guys.
Come on, bud. Come on. Let's go.
He does a lot of spinning, Kino. That's funny. So there's also some interesting play styles. Kino, being the boxer, is very physical. You've seen him butt check. He kind of body slams, but his body is always loose and wiggly, so it doesn't mean anything besides I'm a boxer and this is the way I play. Thor does a lot of running and barking. He's 10 and a half. He's going to be tired pretty soon. And Leia, I'm still sort of trying to figure out Leia. If she's an Akita lab mix, she's been very appropriate in this session, so I'm really pleased with that. So this is nice where play naturally slows down. They're all drinking. They're all walking around and checking out the room. I'm also making sure she doesn't guard the water dish. Good girl. And play doesn't happen constantly. You want it regulated, and good dogs can self-regulate that. Everybody's thirsty. I have one more dog, Jubilee, who generally has good play skills, but she'll also correct a dog if Leia is inappropriate. So Leia's energy level's been brought down. Some of the options are we can let Jubilee and Kino and Thor play first to bring Jubilee's energy level down and crate her, and then bring in Jubilee and Leia. Sound like a plan, or do you want to do something different?
It sounds like a plan. I don't know how frustrating she'll be sitting in the
Right.
crate over behind the thing, but
Right,
you
or we
definitely
can.
gotta know something's going on.
Well, and she may do some barking and things. That's okay, but I want to set her up for success, and I want Jubilee to be successful. And I think just to march her in here isn't going to be fair to either one. So Leia's met Kino and Thor one other time. So we'll do when we.
Are you long lining either of the dogs?
We'll do it all on leash first, both with gentle leaders on. Let them calm down. We'll just do parallel walking back and forth in here.
With the two dogs still out?
No, I think they should go away.
Okay.
So I'm going to put Leia up. Leia! Oop. Well, unless you're going to play again. Everybody's drank. Thor. Good boy. Leave it. Just sniffing. Again, he was between you and Kino. She was. Kino's just like gonna go play with whoever will ever.
Everybody's done.
He really throws out his front paws too. That's funny. Oh, that was nice. She did a little spin. Leia did Thor. Thor. Good boy. Leave it. Good boy. That's a good boy. Sit. No, I'm not. So Leia also resource guard, so I'm not going to pull anything out of my bait bag now. Wait. You don't like food. Nope, you're not eating it. He liked the liverwurst, not the salmon. Are you guys done? Okay. Sit. Sit. Good girl. All right, so let's put Kino and Thor, or they can stay here and I'll get Jubilee in.
Okay. You want me to get Jubilee or?
Yeah, she's in my car in a crate. So this is Jubilee. She's
drag
2.
that?
Yep. Just.
Jimmy, come here. All right. Shh.
What's the matter?
I thought you were introducing her again.
No, it's fine. Do it
Oh.
again. No, I'll
her
just do
go?
it. Yeah, just let her go.
Oh, okay. Didn't you wonder what I was doing?
No. I can talk. So this is Jubilee. She's a 2.5-year-old bully breed mix. She's what we call a mature female. She has met Kino and Thor before. She has a very similar play style to Kino because they're both bully breeds. So they'll do a lot of body slamming. Thor, leave it. Thor.
Come on, June. Come on, baby.
And the purpose of this is we're going to let a little energy come out of Jubilee before we introduce her to Leia. So that'll be 2 females. Jubilee also does not take inappropriate play. So you see all the bouncy, jumping. Thor. Too bad. Too bad. So Thor's going to get a timeout. It's not a big deal. Dogs hump each other as a form of play. Good girl. That's a good girl. Yes, it is. Yes. The water's over here. Did you see it? Juby. Come here, girlie. Come here, Juby. Good girl. That's a good girl. Good. So I'm going to reinforce that recall. Very nice. Everything's a training session. Good girl. Throw her down. Down. Good girl. All right, so in a few minutes, we'll get Kino back in after his potty break, and then we'll introduce Leia and Jubilee. So both these dogs are females. They both get very frustrated on leash when they see other dogs that they can't necessarily get to. So we'll take it as it happens. Leia's going to come in. Good girl. You'll probably hear Duke and I both clicking, treating our own dogs for paying attention to us, for calm behavior. As they settle down, we're just going to parallel walk back and forth here so they can see each other, sniff each other. When it comes down a notch, we'll let them do some greeting leashed. It's all going to be leashed until we both feel comfortable that they'll be okay.
Are you going to want to click her?
Yep, I want you to click her for calm behavior, for being focused on you.
Hey,
Good girl.
look at me. Hey, hey.
Good girl, hi.
Pick that up, 'cause I don't want anybody fighting over it.
So she looks at Leia, I click and feed
No,
her.
doesn't like what I got.
What? Good. So if you come up to this chalk line on the floor, then we can parallel walk that way. Good girl. Very nice. So Leia's energy's come down. She's already had a play session, which is nice. She's showing a lot of good self-control. So is Jubilee.
Good girl.
So let's just walk and let them choke. Good girl. So Jubilee looks. I'm trying. She looks again. Good girl.
Good.
Good girl. Wow, they're both being really nice. Good girl. Look at you. Good girl. Are you purposely coming closer?
I am.
Okay.
Sorry.
So Julie's air scenting. Jubilee. Jubilee. Air scenting again. Good girl. All appropriate. Scent is a dog's primary source of information. Good girl. So I think I'd like them to walk from this end that way and then see if they want to do a little just sniffing, and then I'm not ready to do a circle yet unless it really happens.
So we're just gonna head back.
Yes. Now let. All right, let it go. Keep the leash loose. Swing that way if you have to. Good girls. So she teed her. Notice in this slow motion clip 2 things. Leia tees Jubilee, who won't tolerate this rude behavior. Remember, Jubilee is an adult female dog. The second thing I want you to notice is that Jubilee never opens her mouth, even though there's a lot of growling. She's an excellent teacher. Jubilee is not going to take that, so let's bring them back one more time. You can see it happening. It's hard for me to narrate. Wait, let me finish talking. And see if she'll calm down. That Jubilee will not tolerate the tee. The tee happens when the dog comes and puts her head right over her shoulders. Jubilee is an adult female. She is not yet. But this, I wanted that to happen. I mean, I didn't want that to happen, but I want Jubilee to speak to Leia, I'm sorry. And so she can learn how to be appropriate. All right, let's try that again. Let's just let's go that way and walk, then we'll turn around and walk back. Good girls. Good girls. All right. Good girls. Always talking happy tone. Good girls. Very slow, tentative motions, perfectly appropriate. Circling. She stopped the tee.
Good dog.
Good girl.
Good dogs.
Good girls. Oh, her leg is stuck. Hang on, Jubilee. Hang on. Good girl. It's the only problem with leashes, but when you got dogs. Watching this slow motion, we can see their greeting is a little better because it's slowed down. It's ritualized. They walk in circles and sniff. They're very tentative. Leia does not tee Jubilee, which means that she's learned something. We also see Leia's front right leg raised, which can signal play or sometimes stress. And in the end, both dogs look like they might want to play. Like this. Good girls. Good girls.
Good girl.
Julie's not sure. She's still very stiff. Her hackles are up. I don't care what her tail's doing besides the fact that it's up high. Her ears are up. Her motions are tentative right there. She's giving a warning. She's giving another warning. Leia looks away. That's appropriate. They want to circle again. That's all right. That's how they get information. Good girl. So Leia walked away and backed off that time.
Good girl.
Jubilee would still like information. Just get rid of my clicker would be helpful. Good girl. Jubilee's, you can see the big difference in Jubilee. Good girl. Good girl. So that was a solicitation of play. Now Leia's choosing a little avoiding. She is being respectful to Jubilee's age and corrections. Good girls. Now I also think there's a part of Jubilee she prefers, I think, to play with male dogs, but that can also be a part of being a bully breed and a female. They also, at Jubilee's age, become much more self-selective in who they're going to play with. Now Jubilee's ears came down a little bit. Now they're back up. She still wants to sniff her. Good girl. Her tail's down just a little bit. Her hackles have come down, which means her arousal level is dropping. She's still kind of pink in the face, which on a white dog is another sign that you need to watch for. How worked up is she? Where's her blood pressure? You can tell by how pink she is. That's a good girl. Yes, she's rude, isn't she? She's a rude girl. So what do you think? So some lip licking on both dogs' parts. I don't think Jubilee's all that interested in playing with her at this point. She still seems like she wants information. What's your take?
Mm-hmm.
So Leia tried to sniff Jubilee's rear end, and Jubilee just squared off to her. Right, so she's being a little pushy, Jubilee. She's following Leia around. Leia, stop the teen nonsense.
She's being Leia now.
But watch when Leia tries to come around and sniff. Does she allow it? Oh, good, she didn't tear. Jubilee gave her a look. Good girls.
It's like, where's all my other dog friends that can get away with that stuff?
Right, exactly. So I think she's laying down more because she's tired than anything else. We'll see what Jubilee chooses to do. Sort of standing over her. So I can't tell who. I don't think
Jubilee, I think, moved towards her while she was down, and she didn't want to be in that position, so she come up fast. And then one of them hugged probably Jubilee.
Yep. So I don't think, go ahead, let Leia get a drink of water. I don't think Jubilee's going to tolerate playing with her at all. Okay, on this episode of Doggy Dilemmas, we saw Leia, who's still out here playing, the Akita Lab mix. She's 1. She has some troubling play skills depending on who she's playing with. And right now, she's still playing with Kino and Thor. And she gets along quite well with them, and they don't challenge her when her play is inappropriate. So when she comes up and does that T that we've seen today, they don't respond to her. Then we introduced her to Jubilee, who is a 2.5-year-old bully mix female. So she's an adult female dog, and she does not tolerate inappropriate play from other dogs. I also personally think she prefers male dogs over female dogs, which is pretty typical often of the bully breeds, that they prefer the opposite gender dog. So we tried to get them together. We did it all on leash. We saw some very different behavior, very contrasting compared to all this silliness that's happening. Very stiff, very cautious, very slow moving. And that's all ritualized behavior so that you don't have a dog fight. So you don't, so dogs don't. And dogs that understand dog body language are really good at that. Now, Leia learned today that when you tee an adult female dog, Jubilee did not tolerate that whatsoever and came right back at her, and we pulled them apart. Then it seemed like towards the end that Jubilee was just not interested in playing with Leia. She was just following her around. Jubilee started to be a little pushy and a little controlling and just not overly appropriate, so we separated. My goal is to have Leia have some good play sessions, so we're ending on a positive note with these guys running around. I look forward to seeing you next time on Doggy Dilemmas. Thanks for tuning in.
Having a doggy dilemma? Denise can help. www.denisemazzola.com. Denise Mazzola is a certified professional dog trainer with over 20 years of experience. She specializes in new puppy consultations, rowdy dogs, aggressive dogs, and private lessons.